Right, now we're going to move back to that question of the G20 and the currency dispute, which is likely to dominate the agenda with, and at the center, really, of the disarray within the world's finance ministers. Well, join me now from Beijing is Duncan Innes-Ker from the Economist intelligence unit. Duncan, we were hearing a little bit earlier on from somebody from the Brookings Institution who was talking about how the United States, in a sense, was arresting the wrong man, and that currencies should perhaps not be the central issue. And I guess there's a pragmatic argument here which says that the Chinese aren't going to give way on it, so perhaps it's better to discuss something more fruitful. What do you think?
Well, I can see some of the reasons for his argument, and certainly when we talk to American exporters, the exchange rate is not top of their list of concerns. They're much more worried about things like government bias in procurement and difficulty of access to the market. But having said that, I do think we need to recognize that exchange rate flexibility is a good thing in and of itself, and that multilateral meetings like the ones in Korea and so on, these are good opportunities for world leaders to actually get together and take steps that might be difficult to do on their own, but they sort of can take a collective decision, and that will sort of increase the flexibility of the global economy as it goes through what's going to be a very difficult adjustment period over the next few years, with the emerging world, and particularly Asia, growing much more rapidly than the developed world.
Duncan, there will no doubt be a statement at the end of this G20 meeting, and certainly I think if there's nothing on currencies, there'll be a lot of disappointment in the markets. But what do you think that statement will say on currencies? Will it just be the kind of sin is bad and motherhood and apple pie are good kind of statement that says that current stability is a desirable long-term aim? Or what sort of wording would you imagine we'll see?
Well, I certainly don't think that without concessions on the part of the developed world on the issue of quantitative easing, we'd see China making any concessions on its currency. I think from a Chinese perspective, they're very concerned that the pressure on them is really a sort of a one-way street, and there's not much reward for them in terms of flexibility. Also, of course, within China, you have a large contingent who view the external pressure as interference in domestic affairs. They're much more concerned about their domestic priorities. So I think, in general, the final statement that comes out of the meeting is probably going to be very bland, as usual. But that doesn't mean that we're going to see any halt in the current movements that we're seeing at the moment. Gradual appreciation of the renminbi is still the government's underlying policy direction at the moment.
Okay, Duncan Innes-Ker joining us there from the Economist intelligence unit, joining us there from clearly rather foggy Beijing. Many thanks to you.